IDS here with a review of the Rainbow Unicorn Fantastic Idea from JMBricklayer. This is a fantastic set, 95% of the way, with a very frustrating final 5%. Stay tuned to find out why.
This thing is primarily a light-based display model, so let's take a look at the thing with the lights. Looks pretty snazzy. Really like the blue eyes, the pink chest light, the white and the green lights in the base adds a whole aura to the unicorn. It looks even better in person. I'm not sure how well this is showing up on camera. I'll probably throw in a shot later of this with the lights completely down. The cables themselves aren't as well hidden as some of the other JMBricklayer products that I've dealt with. It is just a USB connection. There is no battery pack with this one. Since this is a statue style model, I want to make sure you guys get a good look at it from several different angles. The build is packed with dense, intricate, and unique building techniques that come together to form a highly refined and creatively rich design. The level of detail and shaping here makes it feel like something designed by a mock builder rather than just an off-the-shelf set. The model is a pretty good showcase of clever engineering, mix of overlapping shells, CCBS elements, articulated hatches and things, and like greebles all over this thing. Like, wherever you look on the model, there's always something interesting to pick up on from about every angle. Given the almost mock style design of this build, there are quite a few small and fragile sections, but these tend to primarily be on the base. While the unicorn itself is surprisingly sturdy, with most of its intricate details well integrated into the structure, the base is where the fragility is a little bit more of an issue. Some of the decorative elements, the little insects and flowers and stuff, can just pop off while handling it, which is fine as it's a statue, but it does become frustrating if you're repositioning the model a lot, or, well, we'll come to it later, but it does present a larger issue. That being said, one of the standout features here is the lighting. As you've seen the shots before, the lights are fantastic and really enhance the presence of the model. They add an extra layer of depth to design that make all those carefully placed details pop even more. Beyond the impressive build itself, the set also provides an incredible selection of parts. You're getting a mix of Technic, system, and specialized elements that fall outside of the LEGO standard system. And what's really great is that every piece you see is printed. There are no stickers here. I'll throw up on screen some highlights of some interesting recolors and unique parts included in the set, many of which you won't find in LEGO's current catalog or from other brands or in colors that LEGO offers. Laid out in front here, you can see these tubes, this brick separator, slightly different design to the official LEGO one, and the spare parts here, mainly 1x1 type studs. This is a cool Technic pin in black. These tubes aren't actually spares, they're supposed to be on the model. So if we look into the instructions, one of the last steps of the build is actually to connect these tubes to the model. Now, this is the step here. It says you may need to cut them, which you don't have to. They are the right lengths, which is good. Anything that requires me cutting string or tubes or pieces, it's just a pain. As you can see, yep, there's another tube that needs to be placed there. It's on the front cover, the manual, and the box also. So, when it comes to putting these on, they are too strong. I've tried bending them in shape. Let me just show you. So this thing plugs in here. Now, these tiles on the neck are my favorite part of the model. I love the way that works. It's such a creative design, but requires specific placement. And as you can see, putting them on is a nightmare because these are quite fragile just because of the way they are. The tube is too strong, so it just pops them all out of place. And then they just keep falling off the model. Oh, there you go, popped off. Really, really, really annoying. And this is the last bit you do on the main unicorn, which is part of that final 5% of the model being really frustrating. These pipes are just too strong. LEGO does a variety of tubes of varying strengths. JMBricklayer, I'm sure, would be able to do the same because these tubes aren't it. I'm not going to jeopardize the look of my favorite part of this model in terms of that armor plating to have the tubes, so I have just left them off. To me, I actually don't think it affects the look of the model all that much. I don't think the tubes are all that necessary. I like the look of the unicorn as is. Let me demonstrate another area where the same issue happens. As you can see on the back of the legs, trying to place that tube where it needs to go. It's connected by two studs, which is fine. It just wants to pop out, and there you go. Popped right out. Which then brings us to the final step of the model, which is placing the completed unicorn onto the base. Now, speaking of fragile pieces, the base is covered in fragile pieces, which is great. This thing is really cool. It's really detailed. With the lights, it's awesome. This thing is agreeable, recolor, creative piece usage central. However, we're plugging in this fully articulated unicorn onto this base, and it is a pain in the ass. Now, the instructions actually do warn you that this is quite a frustrating step, but putting this on the base is really, really annoying because it knocks off a lot of the fragile foliage. But, you know, that's fine. Once you get it on there, it's okay. What ends up being another issue is the fact that because the legs are fully posable, it actually makes the model harder to balance. The front leg articulates at its knee joint using a lightsaber, which means this heavy horse build is hinging on a lightsaber and two clips, which doesn't make much sense. I think considering it's a static build, this leg should have been completely stiff. They shouldn't have been able to pose at all. JMBricklayer, I'm not sure on the back of feedback or if it's always been included, but they provide an extra page insert to help you balance the model. And once balanced, I've had no issues, but it's very tricky to get that balance right. Again, my experience with this product, building it for the first 98% is great. Then it comes to putting the tubes, which are frustrating, annoying, and then ultimately I give up on. And then placing it on the base, which is the final step, is also really, really frustrating. Now, that doesn't erase how good the model is. Like, if I can lift the horse off and if it was able to stand by itself, this thing would be like 9 out of 10. Like, the piece usages, the printing, the little details, the greebling, the recolors. It's also creative and so well put together. And it's the level of design you see online from creative mockists versus something you get in an actual set. It's something quite unique. So it's really, truly a great product. But then that last 2% is very annoying. Again, it doesn't erase that first bit, but a last impression is a lasting impression. And it feels like, to a degree, it left me with a little bit of a bad taste in my mouth. Ultimately, if you can brace yourself for that bit, I would recommend the product as a whole. It's a great parts pack, full of really creative designs, full of amazing recolors. The light pack is really good. The price is fantastic. Just leave the hoses off and just be aware that you're going to need to balance this thing, and it's just a little bit of a hurdle to get over. But there's plenty to love here. From the colors, from the pieces, from the bills, from the piece count, for the price. Just know that that last bit is going to drive you up the wall. But is that worth it for the final product? I'd argue so. So yeah, I got nothing else to say. Go ahead and pick it up if you'd like. You can use my code. And thank you to JMBricklayer for sending this to me.